So Andy, PingCo keynote, you must be doing a demo. There's 450 people here that have come to see the live demo, hoping that one day we're going to fail. But I understand you're not doing a live demo today.
No demos today.
You're not going to show these record crowds how we can provision TPM for customers in under 5 minutes.
No demos, no demos.
How we can seamlessly transition between Cisco, Zoom and Microsoft ecosystem with one click.
Nothing at all.
How we can provision our partners in Service Hub, toll ring, the like, under 5 minutes.
No.
Or even how we possibly maybe migrate a Mitel estate.
No.
Is anyone interested in that at the moment? We could show a live demo of how we can replicate Mitel, get it into Teams under 5 minutes. You're not going to show that?
No demos, no demos.
Okay, right. I'm off then.
But I mean, why aren't we doing any demos, I guess, Ian? What was it Matt was saying about madmen running the economy? A bit of an old reference here, I know, but somewhat fitting. Right? What's the worst that can happen when your demo goes wrong? Well, in this case, I guess you end up running a country by proxy, don't you? But one of the reasons we're not doing a demo is, one, I have to always put an extra pressure on the AV team. Every time I've come here, we've had them running cables around last minute because we don't tell them what we're doing until we turn up. So we decided to give them a break this time. But more importantly, we've got our team with us here today, and they can do a far better job talking to you all at the stand, going through some tailored solutions for you, as opposed to explaining why I've got my emotional support koala with me as well. They will show you stuff that will arguably be more attractive and less divisive than what's on that slide. I'm obviously talking about the Cybertruck and not Lord Musk. And,
is this the new marketing campaign? Okay, so we're going to tell everyone why you don't and shouldn't buy from PingCo and why you should build it yourself today. So I'm fascinated, Andy. Why don't you take it away?
Yeah, no demos and no sale, effectively. So this will be an interesting one. What do we mean by that? Well, we at PingCo, we do things differently. I've said that on this stage before. I will say it again, no doubt. So instead of showing you everything we can do, we want to talk about what does it mean for you to do it yourself. Or more accurately, kind of what you should be considering to do it yourself and to do it right. So this is a slide that Patrick presented last December, talking about the rise of enablement markets. There was, I think, close on 100% uptick year on year. So we can see that the value is there, the interest is there. How does that translate into success? How easy is it to recognize that success as well? Because it sounds pretty easy. That's what we're being told. I'm going to plug a SIP trunk in over here. I'm going to do a little bit of API work. I'm going to integrate this into my OSS, BSS, and bosh, I'm done. Great. Now, in reality, we know it's not quite that simple. Certainly driving success is not that simple. And again, a slide that I went through in December, and I'm not going to regurgitate that fully, however attractive it may be. It's our interpretation of what a go-to-market and a successful customer strategy and life cycle looks like. Couple that alongside all the challenges that operators face as they try to onboard to these programs, mainly around cost control and velocity. And it's easy to see that this isn't as easy as we've all potentially explored. So the complexity really starts to surface. Now, if nothing on this slide is resonating with anyone, then the point of the title slide, maybe build is right for you. Go out there, look at this, build it yourself, and we wish all the success for you. If not, then maybe there are opportunities that we can explore together, and we're here today to help with any of that. But if we look at this slide here, I want to refer back to an earlier comment I made. Network and API is not a guarantee of success. Right? If it were, then companies like us and our peers in the market quite simply wouldn't exist. So we look at deeper analysis to get an appreciation of what your customers want than what the operator is truly trying to achieve with their solutions. And it's really easy to see the benefits in this market, why everyone wants to get into it, the market size potential, the ease, etc. But again, as we start to uncover the true goal, is the complexity starts to rise to the surface again. What services am I trying to offer? What tools do I need to augment that with? Matt was talking about automation. It's what we do. we then need to start asking ourselves more and more questions. And those questions, ultimately, the traditional, the W's, the why, the what, the who, the when. So why am I building it in the first place? Well, it goes without saying, we always want to increase and maximize revenue. We do that by increasing value proposition, increasing productivity, and bringing more and more solutions to market, whether that's evolving through choice or by force. But also look at things not just we're bringing to market, but things that are exiting from market as well. How do we handle that transition? How do we ease that transition between one and the other? And again, that earlier slide that I stole from Patrick talked about the rise of multi-vendor strategies as well. That really is a core driver to what am I building? So what am I building it for? Am I building a solution for a single service or multiple services? Is it one of the quote-unquote, the big three, the Microsoft, the Zooms, the Ciscos of the world, or other strategic partnerships, now and in the future? And we look at the who there as well. Is this a tool I'm building for the betterment of just my internal personnel? Is that to benefit ops? Is it to benefit sales? Or am I looking at this as a resale perspective, open up to my wholesale partners, my channel partners, and even the end customer? What are you going to allow the end customer to do so they can accelerate their own journey? Yeah. And then finally there, verticalization, segmentation. Yeah. Are you specifically targeting one thing or the other, or are you going to go across the estate? And then finally, when. So when is important. The best time to start something, as the saying goes, was yesterday, second best time is now. How does that tie to strategy? How does that tie to relevancy? What are you doing today based on what you learned yesterday? And what are you going to be doing tomorrow? And ultimately, not everyone knows what tomorrow holds. Got some stats there as well at the bottom, some pretty high-level stats, but they convey two messages to me. One is we work in an industry that is, one, highly competitive, and two, has unprecedented change. So a quick look at what those stats are there. I believe 8 iterations of Microsoft UCaaS services as we come from LCS through the OCS versions, through Lync and Skype, and finally the Teams where we are today. 30 plus features and growing in phone system. How do we all account for that? 45 partner announcements last year for Operator Connect. Now, not all of those are reflecting change. Not every time Microsoft makes an announcement doesn't mean you're having to rebuild, but there is potential for that. That's almost one a week. We look at the competitive side of things. OC is available in 60 plus countries right now, which is great, but there's over 100 partners. So again, unprecedented change, high competitiveness.
So Andy, what does all this mean for me? It sounds like there's enablement programs, enablement partners. If I sign up for one of them as a carrier, means I'm just going to get onboarded and everything will work. Is that the case?
It certainly can do, Ian, but again, you've got to look at the complex nature of doing this right. And doing it right means building the services around it to make sure your execution is as near to perfect as you can get it. So let's look at what we believe doing it right should look like. A lot of operators onboarding to a program may just do this. I'm going to meet the minimum requirements. I'm plugging in that SIP trunk, doing a little bit of API work, and I'm done. Some don't even go that far, in my experience. We've seen customers that still rely heavily upon the Operator Connect portal, to give an example in the Microsoft world. They're doing all their work through that. That was never the intention. The intention for Operator Connect was to build it, integrate it into your processes, so for the betterment of the customer, everything can flow through organically in an automated fashion. So move past that, though, and look at things like extra value services there. So what are you allowing your platform to do? Can it do DID management? Can it do orchestration? Are you looking at things, if you're in the mobile space, are you looking at IMS integration? Are you going to offer this to your channel partners? If so, are you going to allow them to drive brand identity so we can brand that in their flavor? All the while looking at this from a billing perspective, third-party integrations, value-add services, and as we look at those value-add services as well, we look to really round out the portfolio. Gone are the days where we're just selling minutes and numbers. Those are well behind us. We've got to make sure we're delivering upon a much broader strategy, a much broader portfolio for any operator and their end customer. And then we have an eye to the future. Again, it's too easy for us to focus on the big three when we think of enablement partners today. What about others that will come to market in the future? More strategic operations, whether they are third parties, whether they're in-house solutions. Can we do all that together? And while we've got one eye there on the future, let's also keep one eye on the past. Now, for some reason, that's meant to be a much bigger. But I won't let that throw me off my game. The intent here, though, is we want to talk about something called replication. What we do today is not what we will be doing tomorrow. So how do we ensure that those platforms, those legacy platforms, can be migrated away without potentially losing the business? So this is something we refer to as replication. You will look at retiring legacy products. You will look at replacing them. All the while, how do we provide redundancy? How do we provide resiliency around that? How do we make that as simple as possible for the operator and for the end customer?
And do you have a Mitel plugin for that?
That's the most important one. That's what I was working on this morning.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you.
You can see we actually prepared this slide deck because that logo wouldn't have made it if we were doing it last minute.
So what does it mean for all the operators in the ecosystem? Andy, what do they need to do? What do I need to do? How do we make it work?
Yeah, so obviously, we look to build something like this. I know I said I wasn't going to be doing a sales pitch here, but this is TCAP. This is us. This is what we do. So we empower operators to really focus on what they do best. Take away some of the pain points of go-to-market, of automation, of customer self-service, et cetera, and you just carry on doing what you do best. Let us take care of that. If you want to build it, though, use that as a roadmap, by all means. Right? This is what we believe should remain the focus and the core, the fundamentals of any successful strategy.
So how does it help people in the wider ecosystem? Who's involved in the wider ecosystem?
So if you look
and I got the wrong bullet, sorry. We'll go back one. Give me some examples of how you've helped people, please, Andy.
Sure.
Sorry, I got the wrong glasses on.
Feed me right up here, thank you. And one thing that we're very conscious, and I'm going to put my product hat back on here, is when we're talking about off-the-shelf products and limitations and restrictions, all words that we should all really try to refrain from. When you're buying a service, when you're partnering with someone, that doesn't mean that you're restricted. Right? How you choose to deploy that, how you choose to implement that, how you choose to offer it to market is your decision. Right? We can flex around that, and I'm very, very proud of the fact that almost all of our larger partners we've developed some sort of customization from. So if we go from left to right here, way back in the day before Microsoft supported things like TN Update and TN Transfer, we did a migration of an existing launch partner of Operator Connect, and we moved them to a new partner. We did that without downtime. We did that without changing calling profiles. And again, we did that without Microsoft supporting the technology that they do today to do it. We had to build the services, executed with a significantly high success rate. Moving across, and we've spoken about it lots at Cavell on this stage, is our TPM automation. So we're firm believers that one of the factors holding TPM back has been its enablement program itself, and that it doesn't have one. So how quickly can we turn things up? That's everything we do with TPM. Customers should be able to come along. I have a number, activate it for me. That's exactly what we do. Our third one is a customer of ours in the Middle East. It's obviously a significantly complex market. We ended up actually delivering an on-premise service of our TCAP solution. We monitor and maintain it for them, but it is their dedicated instance. We can flex like that as well. And then finally, another migration project we're running right now with a customer in the Far East is about 250,000 numbers in a time-bound fashion. So those numbers have to migrate within a 2-week window, initiating in about 2 or 3 weeks' time. And again, we've built custom tools to assist with that.
So, Andy, it sounds like you got it wrong at the start. I should really be buying from PingCo rather than building it myself. But how does this affect everyone who's in the ecosystem?
I mean, obviously,
and is everyone bought in?
Yeah, obviously.
And you've got 1 second left.
We'd love it, Ian, if people bought from us. But if you don't, we just want to make sure you're making the right decisions, again, for the right reasons. So differentiate yourself through means other than commercial gain. Right? Make sure you're adding value, make sure you're adding productivity, and don't reinvent the wheel, I guess is the most important one. All the while, keep the customer at the center of this, because really, unless the customer is buying, none of us are succeeding. And we know the customer can be demanding. So when technology partners like us, like yourselves as the operator, like the UCaaS platform providers, and other technology providers like your SBC vendors, when we all work together for the betterment of the customer, we all win. And after all, we are all kind of in this together at this point.
Cool. Thank you, Andy. So please come along to our stand, come and see some demos, come and get a koala. There is still a competition that was launched. I'll give you one, Matt. There you go. Launched at the last event. So please come along and say hello. Thank you.